Hi, welcome to my craft room. I'm Amanda of Inspiring Inkin. In today's video we're going to be making this lovely Christmas wreath card using the Sweetly Swirled stamp set. So let's turn the camera around and get crafting. So this is the Christmas wreath card in close-up. I've used mainly the Sweetly Swirled stamp set. It's got some lovely little elements in it. I have used a second stamp set which is called To Every Season. Now this is actually on the retiring list at the moment. I've used the Merry Christmas and also one of the leaves. So hopefully this will still be available, but if it's not, you can just swap out a different Merry Christmas there, and that will all work really well together. Okay, so let's just run through all the colours. We've got Cherry Cobbler, Pear Pizzazz Old Olive Garden Green, Early Espresso and Crumb Cake are all the ink colours. And the cardstock, I've got Cherry Cobbler card blanks, Early Espresso layers, and Very Vanilla is where we're going to be stamping. Now, if you don't have all of these shades of green, obviously you can pick them up in my online store, but I am going to show you that you can, with one of the shades of green, actually use it multiple times. So I will show you that in just a second. Right, so let's get all of the stamps onto the blocks. So we've got the wreath itself, and then we've got the leaf. We need the flower, the branch. Ooh, there's the other branch. Okay, so that's all from there. Then from the To Every Season, I want Merry Christmas. And I also use this little maple leaf here, just to fill in a few little gaps as well. Okay, so let me just show you what I was meaning about the colours. So this is Old Olive, and Stampin' Up! Inks, they have a huge amount of pigment in them. So what happens is you can actually ink it up and stamp multiple times. Now, I'm just going to get my foam mats. I'm working with photopolymer. So I've inked it up. So that is Old Olive at full strength. But then if I stamp it once, twice, even 3 times, you'll be able to see that you're going to get a tonal shade. So if you don't have as many green ink pads, you can do this and have multiple shades by stamping off each element. Okay, so whilst I've got that, actually, I will stamp. I need 2 leaves, and that's for this piece here. 2 leaves and 3 flowers. I'm just going to stamp that one again. I didn't ink it up very well. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to use those in a little while to cut out. So let's make the wreath part. I've got a piece of Very Vanilla. And actually what I am going to do is open up all the ink pads. Although, if you've seen me crafting before, you'll know that's probably a recipe for disaster, having all the ink pads open, because the ink will go everywhere. Right, so wreath first, crumb cake ink this time. Taking the ink pad to the stamp just because it's quite a big stamp, I just want to make sure it's all covered. And it doesn't actually really matter which way round you go. You can see on this one, I've actually stamped it slightly above centre, basically because there's quite a lot of embellishment here, and it kind of balances out. But, you know, stamp it where it makes you happy. So this is going to give like the foundation for the wreath. Then I'm going to use the cherry cobbler ink for the Merry Christmas and pop that there down in the centre. And then I'm going to build up the wreath, and I'm going to start with the green sprig. I'm using garden green ink, and this one is kind of curved round to the right. So I'm actually going to stamp this clockwise going around. And as with flower arranging and stamping and all sorts of things, you want odd numbers. So I have found that 7 is the perfect number for this wreath. 5 isn't quite enough, and 9 seems to kind of be too many. Now this sprig, I'm using it as like twigs, and to me it's curved to the left, so I'm actually going to stamp it anti-clockwise and turn it around as we go. That's 3, 4, 5, 6 on that one is 7. So it's beginning to take shape already. I'm just trying to move the ink pads out of the way. If you've seen me crafting before, you'll know I make a mess. And then I've got the solid leaf, and this is Old Olive. And again, I'm just going to stamp 7, but I'm kind of going to put them in the gaps. That's 4, 5, 6, 7. And obviously at this point, you can add a bit more or change out the colours and things. I have found that using this little maple leaf, because it's quite open, means that I can just fill in any gaps. Are you counting? 5, 6, last one, 7. How easy is that? And actually that looks fab. And if you don't want to do any fussy cutting, you could put a bow at this point, and then it would be finished. But I like to do a little bit of fussy cutting. But before I do that, I'm just going to do the inside. So I'm just going to stamp some flowers on the inside as well. And what I will do is I'll do my gluing and then do the fussy cutting last. So get my Tombow out. Have I mentioned only about 17 times, Tombow is back in stock in Europe? Oh my goodness me, I am so excited. It's back. So if you love this glue as much as me, you can buy it now. And you can only buy 3 on an order at the moment, because obviously it's been out of stock for such a long time. I think they're worried that we're going to hoard it. So you can only put 3 on an order, but you know, each time you place an order, you could put 3 on. Really? It's a good job. This is why I use Tombow. Look, I can lift it straight off and I can put it round the right way. Oh my word. It's because I'm talking to you. I'm not paying attention. Right. Okay. So let's put this one in the inside there. It. All going wrong today. Right. Okay. So last bit. So as all, oh no, not that one. As always, when I fussy cut, I use my scissors at a right angle and I cut and leave a little border all the way around, and that way it gives a nice finish, but also it does mean that you're not actually having to cut on the line, which for most of us is actually quite tricky. So I am going to speed the camera up and close the curtain a bit, actually, because we've got a bit of shadow going on. Hopefully that will help. And yeah, I'll just speed it up and then I'll just finish assembling the card. So my flowers are all cut out. I'm using these metallic pearls. They're fab. These are the gold ones, but they actually come in a pack with gold and silver. And they just make a really nice flower centre. And I've put dimensionals on them. So I'm going to assemble my flowers here in this bottom corner. So let me just, I want this, the one at the top, to be on the top of the flower. So I'm just going to tuck the petals underneath. Of that. And then the leaves, what I'm actually going to do is put a tiny dot of Tombow on there and just tuck it underneath like that, and then it'll just stand up there as well. So that one, there we go. Oh, there. Fabulous. Okay, so here is the finished card. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video making this Christmas wreath card. Obviously you could change it up for all the seasons, put different colours on it, maybe put some more flowers on for a spring wreath or an Easter wreath. You know, you can use it for all sorts of things. All of the products that you've seen today will be available in my online store. So whether you're on YouTube or on my blog, then just scroll down and you'll see links to all of the items that I've used. Please do subscribe to both my blog and YouTube. That way you'll always be the first to know when I've got some more creative inspiration. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.